In 1889, Paris hosted an Exposition Universelle, World's Fair, to mark the 100-year anniversary of the French Revolution. More than 100 artists submitted competing plans for a monument to be built on the Champ de Mars, located in central Paris, and served as the exposition's entrance. The commission was granted to Eiffel et Compagnie, a consulting and construction firm owned by the acclaimed bridge builder, architect and metals expert Alexander Gustave Eiffel. While Eiffel himself often receives full credit for the monument that bears his name, it was one of his employees, a structural engineer named Maurice Coquelin, who came up with and fine-tuned the concept. Several years earlier, the pair had collaborated on the Statue of Liberty's metal armature. The Eiffel Tower was built by Gustave Eiffel for the 1889 Exposition Universelle, which was to celebrate the 100th year anniversary of the French Revolution. Its construction in 2 years, 2 months and 5 days was a veritable technical and architectural achievement. Utopia achieved, a symbol of technological prowess. At the end of the 19th century it was a demonstration of French engineering personified by Gustave Eiffel, and a defining moment of the industrial era. It was met immediately with tremendous success. Only intended to last 20 years, it was saved by the scientific experiments that Eiffel encouraged, and in particular by the first radio transmissions, followed by telecommunications. For example, the radio signals from the Pantheon Tower in 1898. It served as a military radio post in 1903. It transmitted the first public radio program in 1925, and then broadcast television up to TNT more recently. Despite all the uproar, the frail iron tower would nonetheless see the day. To understand the history of the Eiffel Tower, it is important to know that its construction followed different steps. The construction itself lasted 2 years. June 1884. The project began and the first drawings were done. January 28, 1887, the works begin. April 1, 1888, the first stage was completed. August 14, 1888, the second stage was completed. March 31, 1889, the third and final stage in which the tower was completed in its entirety ended. The Eiffel Tower was inaugurated on March 31, 1889. Gustave Eiffel walked the 1,710 steps to the top of the tower to place the tricolored French flag at its summit. At the time, the tower was 312 meters high. When the project came to being, it had been established that the licensing rights linked to the convention for the tower's construction would last only 20 years, followed by imminent destruction. However, 2 million people visited the tower during the Universal Exposition. Following this incredible success, the building became a symbol of French industrial power. The tower was as equally as successful during the 1900 Universal Exposition. Determined to avoid the tower's destruction, Gustave Eiffel went to great lengths to prove its scientific utility. Scientific experiments were conducted in the fields of astronomy and physiology, but what would really save the tower in the end was its use as a radio antenna tower, first for military communications and then for permanent radiotelegraphy communications. In fact, the tower served many a purpose during the First World War. The Eiffel Tower is part of the French history. The tower also represents the magic of light. Its lighting, its sparkling lights, and its beacon shine and inspire dreams every evening. Every year approximately 7 million visitors climb the tower. Its success is such that many countries all over the world have replicated the tower more or less identically to the original one. Can you really imagine Paris without the Eiffel Tower? During your stay in Paris, don't miss the Eiffel Tower light shows that have been delighting the tourists and Parisians since the end of the 19th century.